We have OP14 releasing in about 1 month here for the Western format, so we're going to be touching on these OP14 leaders and what you should expect. We don't have anything in here from EBO3, so this is really a Western format deck profile, and a deck that I actually got off of One Piece Top Decks from a user named Lipton. So Lipton, thank you for this deck profile, really appreciate it, and we're going to be stealing this, working with it, and seeing what we can do going forward. So awesome deck here for Draco Mihawk. This leader says if your leader has a slash attribute type, this leader gains plus 1000 power. Activate main, once per turn, you may rest one of your cards. If there is a character with 5 cost or more, set 3 Dawn as active, then you cannot play character cards from your hand during this turn. The idea with this deck is just to freeze down your opponent's stuff as active or rested and stop them from attacking you, taking off their pure aggression, while being a 5-life leader that has a lot of resources to draw cards like Perona to search the top 5 for Slash and Kid Killer to search the top 5 for Supernova types, kind of just filtering through to our specific late game combo pieces as if we were a Jewelry Bonnie. This is basically just aggro Jewelry Bonnie in my personal opinion. That is like the best way to put it. It's like if you took Zoro and Bonnie and mixed it together and made a deck, that would be the baby of Draco Mihawk here. In the mirror matches, you have 2 6K leaders, which is really interesting to play out. You also have it in the Trafalgar Law match, and Silver's Rayleigh, and Zoro, into a lot of decks right now that actually have good slash attributes. Jeez Louise. But yeah, we have these searchers here like Perona to search up all of our slash, like we mentioned, like the Kikinojo, which is a 2K counter that end of your turn set this card as active. So we can use our leader effect to rest the Kikinojo, to then restand 3 Dawn, to then restand Kikinojo, attach 2 Dawn to our leader, swing 7, and then hold up a Dawn for our counter events. These counter events are going to be very strong because the idea is that we're running 8 2K counters with the 4 Kikinojos, the 4 Zoros. This card says if it would be rested by your opponent's effect, you may rest one of your other characters instead. And it's a 4-cost 4K blocker with a 2K counter. Then we're running 7 counter events. And no, we are not running the big counter event, rest one of your cards up to one of your leaders or characters gain plus 4000 power. We were running 2 Paradise Waterfall, which you've seen this before, especially at Zoro's premature hype whenever it first came out. Everyone was talking about this card when it first shot up in the East, and this card became very expensive really quickly, and now it's died down oh so fast. But we found 2 in this specific deck list that restands one of your characters and gives you a 2K counter. Then you have 4 of the Dead Man's Game, Ashura, Dead Man's Game, yep, that card, DMG as we call it on the short side of the channel. Tap 1, then tap 3 additional to rest 2 of your opponent's Dawn or cards, so it helps us with pesky counter events or blockers that may be in our way. It also can be a counter event there for a 3K counter during the battle, which is always going to be very strong as a 1 Dawn 3K counter when you can restand 3 Dawn at the end of your turn and use those for that exact power. Running 1 of the I know you're strong, so I'll go all out from the start. Rest 2 Dawn, so let's say we restood 3 Dawn with our leader effect. It costs 1 in the top left, 2 additional for the activate main. Up to 2 of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 7 or lower do not become active during your opponent's next refresh phase. So we freeze down 2 cards in a aggro matchup, so maybe they're swinging a lot at us. We can freeze 2 cards on a 3 Dawn cost, so that's super nice. And then you also have the counter event of getting plus 3000 to your leader. It's just simple and easy where we have to run less 2Ks because we can rely on our counter events in the late game because we can drop down a big 10 cost character, 9 cost character. We can rest the 10 cost or the 9 cost getting some kind of effect from like a Mihawk, or using the effect of Law Beppo, then resting it because your opponent's not going to remove an 11K. Rest it, restand 3 Dawn, and we have 3 Dawn as active to then use. We swing 5 small attacks, and then we just burn cards from our opponent's hand, really taking out the resource game, freezing their board, and really just shutting them out of the game completely. Basically, we'll go into the top end next because this is going to be very important, that we're building up into Law and Beppo, which just says on play, rest one of your opponent's characters. They do not become active during your opponent's next refresh phase. Then if your opponent has 2 or more rested characters, your leader gets plus 2000 to the end of your opponent's next turn. So we become a 7K leader that gets to restand 3 Dawn, and we put a 10 cost 11K, and we get to freeze any card in the game. This card was honestly just made for this Draco Mihawk. It fits perfectly with the idea of the deck, and I'm super excited to actually be able to play this card because when the Jewelry Bonnie starter deck came out where you get this card, nobody could use it. Nobody was using it. Nobody even thought about this card as an option in that deck specifically. We tried even on the channel. It just didn't work really well. Most of the time it was just like 0 cost fodder. Just get rid of this and give me a 3K counter. Now, there's actual strong utility because we have other cards that freeze cards at the same time, and we become a 7k leader, which is just such an insane stat line. And technically it says your leader gets plus 2000, so if we are a 6k from the leader effect having a slash attribute for our opponent, we become an 8k leader our opponent just can't handle. Really strong in a Zoro match where they usually swing 8 and 8. We also have this 9 cost Mihawk here. It says your turn when this card is rested, so when you activate your leader effect to rest this Mihawk, up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 9 or less cannot become rested until the end of your opponent's next turn. So we completely just shut down a 9 cost or lower character. Really strong, and that's what also boosts up the other 10 cost because obviously the Mihawk can't hit a 10 cost. So having that additional cost on the 10 cost is really strong. But anyways, to continue on with this card, it is also when attacking. It says when this card is rested, when you attack, the card does go into rest, meaning you freeze a character every time you attack. And you also have another static ability that says on your opponent's attack once per turn, trash one card from your hand up to one of your leaders or characters get plus 2000 during this battle. So if we don't need these counter events, or maybe we just have too many bricks in hand, we get to turn them into 2k counters, too many coffin boats, or whatever it may be. This is really helpful in the late game, just making sure we ensure that we have enough counter in hand to not die. A lot of people are playing Trichiliocosm as a 4k counter, and they're playing this 4k counter by resting a card, but with this specific deck list, the person chose not to, and we're going to see how that does. Now we have an interesting final package to go over. This is not the top end, this is not the searchers and 2Ks, this is the 5 cost engine, and the start of this engine is actually a 6 cost character. It's this Trafalgar Law right here. If you have 1 or less life cards, this card gains blocker. On play, you may return 1 character to your hand. Play up to 1 character with a cost of 5 or less from your hand rested. The idea with this card is that hitting this on curve returns our Perona searchers, our Kid Killers, our Kiki Nojos, whatever our small options that are searching through or giving us utility on the board, back to our hand, putting out a 6 cost 6k, and then cheating out a 5 cost. And that's where the 5 cost engine really becomes live. You can chain this on your 6 Dawn turn and on your 8 Dawn turn and feel very confident that you're shutting your opponent out of the game. You can also, once you don't have any more 5 costs, you can return a 5 cost to play a 5 cost to get their on plays again. Jewelry Bonnie, of course, saying one of your opponent's rested Dawn or characters do not become active in the refresh phase, completely shutting your opponent off of curve or shutting down an entire attack, just stopping that card from becoming active. Tashigi here is an anti-removal card that you rest one of your cards if it were to be KO'd, which is always strong to save your board. And then Activate Man, you may rest 2 of your cards. That means 2 cards in general. Anything on the board is a card. That counts as the Coffin Boat, which is our stage. It counts as your leader. It counts as your characters. Counts as your Dawn. You can rest 2 things to give plus 2000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. Finally, we have Perona, one of the craziest cards to ever be printed. Up to 2 of your opponent's characters that cost 5 or less cannot become rested until the end of your opponent's next turn, shutting out 2 active characters that haven't done anything yet from attacking completely. Also, it says on KO, you may rest 1 of your cards, play 1 green character with a cost of 5 from your hand, now allowing us to play out another Perona, a Tashigi, or a Jewelry Bonnie. You can also cheat out the Zoro, the Kid Killer, the Perona, anything that is 5 cost or below. So this is strong utility and synergy here with the 6 cost, 5 cost, 5 cost, 5 cost package, almost ensuring that whenever you have a Trafalgar Law, you have a 5 Dawn option to follow up with. If you're going first, you can go with a 5 cost, play out Law on the 7 Dawn turn, and then return something to then replay it or recast it. And then you can also use it on a 7 Dawn turn to return a Perona to then cast out a 5 cost of some sort, and then still have 1 Dawn to replay the Perona and search up an additional card. You can also just return a Perona to hand and cheat out nothing in situations where you don't have anything. Well, that probably wouldn't be the best idea because you could just return the Perona to play the Perona. But yeah, you get tons of options and utility with this Draco Mihawk, so I hope I could kind of explain the curve and the ideas. The only card we didn't go over is the Coffin Boat, which is just an on-play draw 1 card, and then if your leader Draco Mihawk, set 1 of your Dawn as active, which is really strong for that event package. We probably should have covered it when we talked about that, because again, restanding 1 Dawn is kind of all you need to just get through some crazy attacks, allowing you to attach more Dawn to your leader or to your characters to attack in aggressively when you restand those 3 Dawn and you're still playing on curve. So I hope you enjoy. This is going to be a fun deck with Draco Mihawk. This is our start for OP14 deck testing because we haven't done a lot on the channel up until now. So if you like and subscribe. It's a free way to support your boys. We're on the road to 5K. My chicken tenders just got done in the air fryer, so I'm gonna go eat some chicken tenders and then some games on the sim, baby. Let's take on a purple Doflamingo with the 9 cost Mihawk deck profile that we're gonna be cooking up with. They choose to go first. We're going second. We're going to keep this because we do have 2 1 Dawn in place, what I like to say. But we can also Perona and also do nothing. So let's just Perona and probably do nothing. We find a 4 Dawn play. I don't hate that. We already have a 6 Dawn play. We already have a 5 cost to cheat out. I think we go with the 4 Dawn play here. Dead Man's Game's nice, but it doesn't really help in this match. So we'll go ahead and do this and pass. We'll leave the 1 Dawn active. I don't think we need a Kiki Nojo. on the board at the moment, at least, because they're not really going to control these like small characters as much as you may think. So we should be okay. We don't really need to rest it anytime soon. We have like 2 turns. We can always rest the Trafalgar Law instead. We have plenty of options. Now, we haven't seen a boat, but we should be okay. They grab a Monet. It's a 5 cost that ramps them 2 Dawn, draw 2, trash 1. Does a bunch of different things. Double Sugar's crazy. They can actually Dawn -1 and save one of these Sugars. Crazy work. Good stuff by our opponent. We'll go 2 into 1, see what they decide to do. They grab another Sugar. They're going to swing 5 at us. We will... Don't want to counter with this. We're going to play this next turn. We don't want to counter with this per se, so we're just going to take. Not the greatest thing there, but it is what it is. We'll go and go 2 into 1, see what our opponent decides to do. Again, they could Dawn -1 to save it to draw an additional card. They choose not to in that situation. We'll swing 5 into 1, see what they decide to do. They could Dawn -1 to save it and take a life instead. But if you were going to do that, you should have Dawn -1 the 2 to get out of that attack completely. So if they want to do that, they would have done it for the first attack, because that just guarantees nothing happens to you, and you never have to take a life. Play the Monet, like again, on KO, draw 2, trash 1, add 2 Dawn from your Dawn deck is rested. It also gains you an active Dawn on play. Then they play the Dellinger. They want us to swing to the Dellinger. That's pretty good. We could block with this in 2K to save our Perona to keep restanding it. Is that ever good value? Probably not. Ooh, but in this situation, we actually kind of need to. So we'll block in 2K, because we need it for this Trafalgar Law right here. Because we are going to Trafalgar Law, for sure. We're going to tap 6, return Perona to play out Perona to stop both of these from going into rest. It doesn't really change too much. We could have also stopped them from going into their 8 Dawn turn, but they're going to Dawn -1 and gain a Dawn anyways if we wanted to hit the Monet. So it is what it is. We'll rest Trafalgar Law, restand 3 Dawn. We'll play the Coffin Boat to draw a card. We'll play the Coffin Boat to draw a card. And we'll swing a nice little 6 into our opponent. They're going to Dawn -1, swing us into the Dellinger. And yeah, the Dellinger is probably going to die. We could have also gone 5 so they couldn't make us hit the Monet. Because if we hit the Monet, they could technically go into a 10 Dawn turn here. No, they could go into a 9 Dawn turn. So go with the Dellinger. They're still hitting their 8 Dawn. They're going to play the 8 cost Dofi here. Again, there is merit into not doing it exactly as we did. They search up a 8 cost Doflamingo. Pass a turn, restand a Dawn. We have 1 Dawn active for the DMG. Alright, and we should be good. Play out that 8 cost Dofi, Dawn -1, play out a 5 cost Virgo to control the board, and they decide to just simply pass. Good stuff for us, I'm not going to lie to you. We can take them off the 10 Dawn turn. We don't really have a good play right now. Let's Perona first. Let's look for a good slash attribute card. 10 cost definitely isn't bad, but we have 10 cost, 9 cost. I think if we play this, we won't even have the option to play out the law that we're searching for. So I don't think there's ever a world where we do that. I think we are just going to go with the Bonnie here. So we'll swing 7 into our opponent, see what they decide to do. We're bluffing as if we were going to play something else, but I think we do just play the Bonnie, take them off the 10 Dawn turn. And Dawn -1 forces into the Monet. They're going to gain 2 Dawn as rested. So they're going to be at 8 Dawn total. They also get to draw 2 trash ones. So they could play that 10 cost, stop 3 cards from attacking or going into rest completely. So we want to stop that as soon as possible. We can go ahead and swing probably 7 more into our opponent. We have the blocker still on the board. They have 3 attacks coming in. They've already Dawn minused into the Monet, so they can't stop our attacks. So we have a good assault coming in. We'll tap 5, stop a Dawn, we'll rest the boat, restand 3 Dawn, and then nothing to play, so we just swing a big 8 into our opponent. We could also have just gone like 5 and then 7, just to get a little more cards, but I do like to have the blocker up. We'll restand a Dawn. We have the DMG as an option, and then 2 1K counters. Not a ton of great counter in hand, but we do have the Law Beppo to follow up on the next turn, especially though we have kind of incentivized them to go wide, which I don't really like. The 10 cost also sucks. I would hate to see the 10 cost right now, freezing 3 of our characters, 1, 2, 3. Now our board's shut down, so we incentivize this 8 cost Doflamingo play instead. They Dawn -1, they get to play out a 5 cost. They also can still Virgo. They're going to play out the pudding, or the sugar. When this dies, they get to play out a 5 cost, so they also get to gain a Dawn as active. They get to swing 7 at Law, probably. Yep, that is in Trafalgar Law. They do have the Virgo to Dawn -1. They're perfectly fine doing that. If we let this go, we kind of lose our entire board. We'll let this go. Because they attack the Perona, we get to rest a Dawn and then cheat out a different character. They can Dawn -1 to minus this down. Yep, makes sense. We will let that die. We will rest the Dawn and then cheat out the Tashigi. Doesn't really hurt us value-wise. We could block this, but since they already killed our thing, I think we're okay just to take this. We get to be a, what, 10K, 7K leader? 7K leader is pretty good. We're going to go and play this. We'll rest down the Doflamingo and freeze it. Become a 7K leader. We'll rest the boat to restand 3 Dawn. We'll Tashigi effect, rest the Beppo and the Perona to become an 8k attacker. We can swing 7 into our opponent, see what they decide to do. There's not really much board clearing here. That can never happen. So there's more pressure applied on face than attacking this character because they can Dawn -1 and change our actions. For a 7 to 7, that's just a 1k, and then 8 they would just change into Doflamingo, and then 9 they would just 2k 1k. Versus now we're gonna go 7 into face, make them decide if they want to go ahead and get rid of this attack, and then we can change into the board. Or if they decide not to, then we can continue to put the pressure on face, hitting them with 8s and 9s. So it really puts the pressure on different spots. Again, if they counter this, we switch to board. If they don't, we're kind of in a good spot. So they will 2k 1k this, and they're definitely hitting the 10 on turn. I really don't think we mind maybe hitting face one more time. Yeah, let's hit face one more time with a 7. No, let's go with an 8. Let's go 8 into face. See what if they decide to take or not. If they don't, see, they switch us into the sugar. Now they get to play out a 5 cost from their hand, which is good value. Just you're also limiting your hand size. So they play out the baby 5 that can then gain them life later on. Now we're going to go 9 into the Virgo. This is done. They gain the Active Dawn as well. So maybe the Active Dawn does something for them here. I don't think so. They're back to 10 Dawn. They rest the Dawn. Do they Blast Breath? What 1 Dawn event is there? This will tell us where we should have put the attack. They just rest the Dawn. Interesting. How do they rest the Dawn? Oh, they used it with the other Doflamingo? Yeah, that makes sense. The simple misplays. But yeah, they do counter out of that. So now you can see how we really started out their hand. We still have a Dawn active. We still now have 3k counter instead. And we're a 7k leader. So there's not much pressure applied on our face. And we're starting to go into the end game. They're going to go 2 into 2 here. You got it. I really don't mind that. We have the Coffin Boat to rest. We have big bodies. We're not too worried about it. Whatever we play out, we can really use as well. We can utilize in a very good way. They're going to Virgo, -2 to the Bonnie. We will just let that go because we're going to lose 1 option on the board. This is an 8k. They're swinging 9. If they swing bigger than that, we can just block. If they're not, then they can just hit us in the face instead. They are going to go really big into this 8, and then it could be 10 potentially. So we block this and then see what they decide to do with the 10. If they just go 10 into it, we're kind of in a better spot, in my personal opinion. We will counter. Will we counter that? They didn't really make any leadway in that turn. I accidentally clicked counter, so we're going to counter it. Apparently, we are going to counter that. Apparently, I felt like countering that, and I didn't even know that. We're just going to go... Mm, 10 cost. We're going to stop it on their Doflamingo. We're going to go ahead and leader effect, rest the boat to restand 3 Dawn. We'll rest the Law and Beppa we just played in a Dawn to go plus 2,000. So now we have 8, 9, 11. So 8 into... 9 into Virgo. Let's see if we can clean up this board a little bit. Because even if they gain the extra life, if we're controlling the board and the tempo, we should be okay. If they don't counter out of this, see how they didn't? Because they know we can go really big. We can go 11 into the Doflamingo. So now what we can do is swing into the baby 5. That gets all the value out of the baby 5, right? So if they Dawn -1, now we just don't choose to attack it, and they force us into something smaller, right? Now they have to do that to Dawn -1 to gain a life. And then we just go even bigger into the Doflamingo. They can Dawn -1 into the other Doflamingo, but that doesn't really matter to us. They switch it into their leader. Oh, they can switch to the leader. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Pass, restand. I forgot you can target your leader with the effect. Silly goofy. Not always correct. Yeah, it is what it is. That's what happens when you play against so many decks so many times. They're going to play Divine Departure, give something -8,000 power on our board. Kind of crazy, kind of cracked. I like it. It is what it is. They have to have an attached on. Brother, read your cards, brother. Read your cards. Yeah, seems about right. I will just let him have this. I can't really stop it anyways. Yeah, Yeah, it happens. It happens. Even if they did, they were going to be able to clear one of the Law Beppos, and then they couldn't really clear... I mean, maybe they could have done that on top of it. Kind of sucks for our opponent, but it is what it is. Not much we can do about it. We're going to go ahead and play this out, rest it, restand 3 Dawn. We're going to freeze down one of the Doflamingos. We can go ahead and rest the Coffin Boat and a Dawn to give plus 8k. Just do a simple little 5 into our opponent, get 1 card out of their hand, but I don't think that's ever worth it. We're going to go 8 in the face, see what they decide to do. Probably just going to go 8, 8, 11. 8, 8, and then 11. I think that makes the most sense to me. We can turn that 1k into a 2k. We'll have an active Dawn from the Coffin Boat. They just take all the attacks, and I think that's just going to be a good game. Again, I think even without the Divine Departure, again, they just kill one of the Law Beppos. Maybe they could have killed both. Technically, they could have killed both, I guess. Now they get to freeze, what? KO an 8 cost or freeze 3 7 costs or less. Not great in this position, so they decide to rest or KO this. We just rest the Dawn and save it because we get to rest one of our cards instead. And this is not once per turn, by the way. They can swing 5, they can swing 9. So they can go 9 into the Tashigi and then 5 in a face. We'll just 2k and 1k. Seems pretty good to me. Seems pretty good to me, and that should just be GG's at that point. Good game. Again, the one misplay, but I don't think that changed the entire game. We kind of just wiped the floor with them. So let me know in the comments down below what you think on that game. We got another game coming up after this, but I don't know if the misplay got it there. I think either way, it was still a really close game. A good match against the Doflamingo. GG's, and on to the next. We're going to take on a Red Purple Sugar, and this is literally the deck we covered, what, 2 days ago? They're going second, so we're going to keep this, and we're going to go with the Perona early, look at the top 5, and grab something with Slash or an event. We are on the first Dawn curve, so this kind of sucks grabbing the Law, but the Law is just the best card right there. Hopefully we can get a Supernova here with the Kid Killer, and then swing 6 into our opponent. If they leave too many Dawn active, we may just not swing. I would ramp them. Let them ramp. As they say, let them ramp. Who cares? We're going to go with the Kid Killer. They are going to play the event, counter out of it. They get a Dawn as active. Let them ramp. Who's scared? We can't really grab anything good here. We can grab the Law Beppo for our late game, but that doesn't help us in our early game. We can also just continue to search cards next turn. So we're going to go with the Law Beppo. I think we're going to go crazy mode on it, as they say. We're going to be able to not play the Law on curve. We don't Law next turn anyway, so that doesn't change anything. They're going to swing... We could Monet. They could grab a Monet on KO, draw 2 trash, 1 add 2 Dawn, 3 Dawn deck is rested. Interesting. I think we take this. Maybe search for another option to play. I like that option to play. I don't like that option they're playing. I will in fact say I do not like the option they are playing. Not the best for us, but not the worst. Not the worst thing I've ever seen, but they're going to maybe leave 2 Dawn active and then ramp even more because they have an event that ramps them Dawn when they play it. So they'd ramp 2 Dawn, 1 from the leader and 1 from that. Sicko mode, as they say. We'll go 2 into 1, see what they decide to do. We should be able to clear that pretty easily there. It should be just a free clear for us. Should be. Maybe not. Maybe they counter event this. They want to keep searching for cards. Maybe that's what they do. But this only works for leaders. They could do a 1 Dawn event and then a 2 Dawn event after. They are going to slow beam. Valid. Valid as hell, actually. We'll go 5 into 1. We'll remove 1 off the board at least, but that was pretty good. We're going to XA on the Perona. We're going to go with our own Perona here to look at the top 5 for a Slash card. We'll grab a 2k counter. We could have with a Law because we're going 7 and then 9. We don't really have a 9 Dawn play, so we actually might go double Law here. If we do get a 9 Dawn play, then we know we won't need it because we can just discard it as a brick. We can go 2 here for the event to grab a... Oh, it would have been nice to do this first. It is what it is. It is what it is, as they say. We'll grab another Law Beppo. I think Law Beppo is just fine for what we're trying to do. And then leave 2 Dawn active at that point. Might as well. Might as well. We're going to lose one of these cards that are rested. They're probably going to attack the Perona. Oh, they're going to attack this. We'll just use it to restand it on because it's going to die anyways. I'm not going to save it. And then let that go. Sure. They don't even get the attack. I mean, it doesn't change anything. They don't get like an attack trigger or anything. But, you know, it's kind of silly at the least. At the least, it's a little silly goofy. Here, what are you going to play? We don't have to worry about the sugar. Well, I mean, we should still probably remove it. I'll never forgive you. Anyone who lasts in my family, yep. They'll play the Monet here. They'll ramp a Dawn as active. They have 3 Dawn total active. We do find the boat. The boat's nice. We're going to still kill the sugar. I am for sure going to kill this sugar. 2 into 1. Should die this time. They're going to play the event. They're going to ramp a Dawn as active. They're going to search a card. They're going to search a Viola. It's just a blocker. They're going to let it go. Of course, as you should, King. We will boat this turn just to draw a card. We're going to tap 6. Return Perona. To play a different Perona. To stop this from going into rest, we can only choose 1 target. We'll leader effect rest the Coffin Boat to restand 3 Dawn. They have a good amount of cards in hand, and a lot of them are usually bricks in events, so we're going to go 5-5 here. I don't mind a 5-5. We probably should have swung 5 with the Perona first in case they do have another slow beam, but they don't. Ha ha ha, 5 and 5. Should counter this one. It just looks like they don't have a lot of counter. Maybe they have a lot of events in hand and they don't want to waste an event on a 5k. If we would have swung 8, 1 event gets out of that attack. But since we went 5 and 5, it forces at least 1 card out and a life in this specific situation. Or 2 cards out, which is just better. Because we don't really need to get their life. We really just need to get cards out of hand. So they are going to play the Brick Bears. And then if you have 7 or more Dawn and 5 or less cards in hand, draw 1 card. They didn't, so they didn't get to draw. Pass, restand it on. Simple, easy. We have Paradise Waterfall active for this turn. We're hitting our 9 Dawn turn, so we're going to probably Trafalgar Law again, depending on what they decide to play out. Is an 8-cost Dofi here, which is actually going to get value out of the returning the Perona and replaying it. They discard a card. Ooh, they have the Divine Departure. They have a spicy build. They have the Monet and the Divine Departure. Not 2 cards I did not expect to see. We're going to let that go. Not even worth Paradise Waterfalling it. If we top deck a Mihawk, that's pretty good, but the Law is also pretty good here, I'm not going to lie. We don't have to return our own Perona from the board. We can just return the Kid Killer, and then we could play the Perona. Ooh, do we want to search some Slash? I think we want to search some Slash here. We already have 2 Law Beppos, which is pretty good. Are we going to need the Mihawk? I don't think so, but I don't think it's going to hurt to have. That's a lot of bricks in hand. We're going to grab it anyways. I'm crazy like that. I'm sicko mode. We're going to tap 6, return Perona to play Perona to then stop these 2 cards from going into rest. And then do I ever want to play out another Perona again? Just to search another card? They can't control our hand size, so I actually don't mind that. Grab something else to slash or an event. Ooh, the Law Beppo is so good, but they can play around that. We're going to go with the 2k, or the 2 cost. We're going to go in leader effect, rest the stage. And now we're going to go with a bunch of swings. We're going to go 7, 7, 7. Simple and easy. We're playing around the slow beam, swinging the 7 first. Because they can, you know, or is it slow beam, slow beam, or Nor beam sword? I really don't know. They're going to bullet string. Interesting. Interessante. We're going to swing another 7 at them. We only have 2 cards that can attack, so it doesn't really change anything for us. And we're still restanding a Dawn at the end of the turn. We're sitting on a bunch of counter here. They're going to play their event that allows them to search the top 3 for Don Quixote Pirates types. They're going to have to tap 1 Dawn, do that. They've already tapped the Dawn. Simple and easy. They get to search a card and then try to find something to counter out of this attack. And then we're going to hit them with another 7. Wow. Pure pressure here. They grab an Everwhite. That's going to be a counter event they can use for only 1 Dawn. Or they can get a Dawn as rested, but they won't do that. Now we're going to swing another 7. They get another card out of their hand. They drop a Doflamingo. They may have to drop a counter event or take this life. They do the counter event. It's pretty good. That's actually really good information for us. I think we're kind of ahead, kind of not. Depends on what they decide to play here, because the Law Beppo gets good value if they play something that's like actually good. I think we could counter this. Paradise Waterfall the card. I think we are going to choose to counter it and then give them a Kikinojo as well, just to save it. And then they can swing. They'd have to attach Dawn, though, to swing 6. And they probably want to play out a 10-cost Shanks here. Because the 10-cost Shanks will have Rush, which is good for our opponent. They'll hit us once in the face, maybe twice if they want to swing both at us. Looks like not a 10-cost, so that's good information to have. We will 2k out of this attack as well. Because if you don't need to take the attack, don't. Leave it simple, stupid, or whatever it's called. Dawn -1, add 1 purple event from your trash to your hand. That's pretty good. 3rd Law Beppo, we got to start dropping them. We really do. We're going to go ahead and tap 10, rest this down. We couldn't choose a Doflamingo because it wouldn't have been 2 or more rested cards on the board. So that kind of actually does suck. I'm not going to lie to you. They have so much Dawn. 7 at your face. Simple and easy. Leave it simple, stupid. That's what they say. They block, they Dawn -1, they grab an event. Probably a bullet string. I think a bullet string would be a really strong event to grab back, but they could also grab a slow beam. They could also grab the black bears. Nor beam sword, that's what it's called, not slow beam. I always call it slow beam. There's another card that is slow beam that's just not as good. They do grab the black bear so they can draw cards, which I do think is good. We'll swing another 7 into face. They should black bears this one because they've already shown us they don't have a lot of counter, which is good information for us to have. They have 4 active Dawn, they black bears, they get to draw a card, they leave 1 Dawn active. We are going to swing 7 again. We will not be able to swing the 6 from the Trafalgar Law, but we will be able to go another 7 from our leader, sitting on 4k counter in hand, and we do have a blocker active. We get to restand a Dawn as well in case we get counter events. They have 4 total attacks, and we're at 5 life as a 7k leader. We may lose some options on the board. They may hit our Peronas. They may hit our Trafalgar Laws. We may not have the strong board that we've built up. The Trafalgar Law, he's good to go. We're going to have to replace a card anyways, drop another Law Beppo. It is what it is. The good thing is the Virgo stays rested this time, so the Law Beppo will actually stop the Doflamingo. Last time they didn't have 2 rested cards, and I do see that issue with the synergy sometimes. We're going to play the Monet that looks at the top of the deck for an event. They're going to grab a bullet string to become a 7k leader. It's a really good utility. They give plus 2,000 to the character for the turn as well, or the leader for the turn, and then plus 2,000 additional power. They're going to swing 5 into nothing because we're a 7k leader. Doesn't really work. Got to attach some Dawn. 6. We'll counter this first attack and then see if they decide to attack with additional cards. If they attack another 6 into the Perona, I think we'll cheat out the Zoro. I think we will. They're going to tap 5 for another Rosinante. Dang. So they could trash an event to draw 2 cards. They trash a Kamakura Joe Sushi. Dude, that card's good. They're going to be able to restand 5 Dawn here. Absolute insane utility here from our opponent. I think we just keep building up the board, right? Let's swing 6 at them and see what they decide to do with that. I think a simple little 6, see how they counter. Because with our wide board and knowing their only cards are counter events, right? Like that. Kind of gives us a better position to be in, right? We can freeze the Doflamingo. We could just stop the Virgo again. We could stop the blocker altogether. I think we just play this. We leader effect. We rest this. We restand 3. We have 4k counter in hand. We can swing another 7 at their face. Force out more counter events. Because we know they have... they didn't grab the Nor Beam Sword. Or the Slow Beam. No, they did grab Slow Beam. Did they grab Slow Beam? I think we looked at it. They did. Guess we can just look. No, they grabbed Bullet String. Yeah, they left that in the trash. We don't even have to worry about playing around that. So we'll go 9 into face and then 11 into face. See what they decide to do. They should just take the 9 and then counter out the 11 or block the 11 with this character right here. That, in my opinion, is the best option. But we did take away any chance of us doing a 7k with the Trafalgar Law. But I think we want to hold this as a blocker because they do have 5 attacks. So they're going to 0 cost this, discarding a different card to be a 3k counter. So they get rid of the Doflamingo. Then when we hit them for 11, they just block with the Monet. But if we also hit them with 11, they could just leave it. So we're actually going to go into the Virgo here, forcing the block out or a counter. Because either way, it's a 7k leader. But that does force a character off the board. If we swing 11 into face, they just take. And that gives them more options to attack with. Now we take one of those options away, where our opponent more has to control the board rather than going for our life. Because they only have 4 attacks into a 7k leader, and they have to get 5 attacks in. They would need a rush 9 cost Luffy, and they would need to get Dawn back as active somehow, and there's just no way. So for us, I think this puts us in the better position here. I could be wrong, but I believe it does. Especially because, I mean, we still have the blocker up. They're going to swing 8 into Perona. I think at this point we can just give up Perona. They might blast out our Law Beppo is the issue. So we can let the Perona go, use this to play out the blocker, and now if they do want to blast out the Law Beppo, we can just block out of it. So we can save our big option. They Dawn -1 to make it even weaker, that's fine. they can kill that for sure. We had no way to cheat out another body because we didn't have another active Dawn, and there's not really a body in our hand we wanted to anyways. Doesn't change too much. They're going to play the event to search the top 3 cards for something with the Don Quixote Pirates type. They reveal a Sugar, which is going to search the top 5 for a Don Quixote Pirates type. So we're going to kind of know their hand. They don't have any blockers on the board. They still have 5 active Dawn if they do find the Monet from EBO3. Instead, they find Little Black Bears, a plus 4K, and then you get to draw a card. It's good draw power. I have a ton of active Dawn here. A ton of active Dawn. I'm going to tap 5 for another Rosinante, discarding the Black Bears to draw 2 cards. Crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 active Dawn after this as well. Insane. So restand, restand, restand. Wild. Let's go. We're going to start with an 11. The 11 actually is really good because we still have this as an option and we can freeze something. He said, I think this is GG's, haha. I believe so. This has been a good match though. And we're going to swing in with another 11. The thing is, we can still freeze 3 bodies on the board. That is GG's. GG's to our opponent. Wow. Good game. The thing is, though, even if we swung in with the 11s and they could block these and get out of them, we can leave the 2 blockers active. We can play out the Mihawk, rest the Mihawk, restand 3 Dawn, swing 9 into our opponent, or we can play this event. We can freeze the Virgo and the Rosinante, and then we can freeze the other one. He said, are you the Vega guy? Are you the Vega guy? I said, yep, that's me. That's me right there, boss. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching. You're going to be a part of this video, so good luck, son. But yeah, so even if they do like get out of these attacks through all the counter events, we still have a way to rest to freeze 3 cards on the board. We're at 4 life with 2 blockers. We would be totally safe here. So we're not losing the game. GG's to our opponent. We were in a really good spot, so that's how you win that matchup. A fun off-meta matchup to take on. You might see at your locals. Now we're gonna sit here and play this deck. We need to play against some of the best decks. I think they like to go second, and I think we're gonna mulligan. That was a good hand. It wasn't the best, but this is just a little bit better. This is actually just a little bit better here for what we're trying to do. I've got a cat over here already trying to get my lap, so if I get something randomly jumping on the screen, it's my cat. They're gonna grab a Mr. 2 Blanc-Bentham. We're going to draw a card first, then we're gonna play the Perona. We're gonna look at the top 5 and grab something with a slash attribute or an event, and we can grab a Kid Killer. We don't really have anything to do on 4 Dawn, so the Kid Killer's not bad, but just having better cards to play later seems pretty good, and being able to stop that Crocodile from attacking. I don't hate it. We're gonna grab it. We need some late game options, and pass. Simple, easy, restand a Dawn. What else can you do? Our opponent's gonna be able to swing 8 at us, I would say. If this is the YouTube guy, I enjoy your videos. Appreciate you. Appreciate you a lot. If you're the YouTube guy, I enjoy your videos. I appreciate you for watching, my friend. And we'll 1K out of this one. You did say that in the chat. I'm not just glazing, guys. I'm not lying to you, promise. Swear. This always happens. This always happens. Now, I'm not going to attack this because, I mean, he kind of wants that anyways. He wants more cards in his trash. He's going to Blanc-Bentham next turn anyways. So we're better just swinging the 5, tempting him that we're going to swing a 6 after, making him want to either counter this or potentially take. He wanted to counter it to fill up his trash. We're going to tap 4, actually, and play out a blocker. Not probably what he's expecting. He's probably expecting a 6 with the Perona. So instead, we got a blocker on the board. I don't mind that. We don't have a ton of counter, but at least sets us up into the Trafalgar Law. We can actually return the Perona to play out a Perona of our own to then stop 2 cards from going into rest, or we can play out the Tashigi and make it bigger if we can. Really depends on the situation. They are going to Blanc-Bentham. Then they probably, they have Mr. 5. They don't have the one that would rest our character, so that's good at least. They may have it in hand, which they could cheat out the Daz Bones. They did have the Daz Bones trashed off the leader effect. They choose to rest our Zoro, and they're going to attack it. Either way, we're going to return a character to our hand, so we're going to kind of lose value either way. Here, we're just going to rest the Perona. It kind of sucks in the situation. We could also just hold the Trafalgar Law till the next turn, so we may actually do that to double play the Perona rather than play the Trafalgar Law here. We may just Perona instead. They're going to probably swing 6. Yep, they are going to swing the 6. We could counter this with a 1-cost event, but I don't want to show them the weakness of us not having 2Ks, so I'll just take, as if I'm really confident in the hand that I have. They don't really have a way to control our hand size either, so I'm not worried about it too much. Now, we'll probably just swing 5. No, we can tap 5 for the Perona. Stop both of these from going into rest. It doesn't change much, but now we can rest the Coffin Boat to restand 3 Dawn, because we didn't really have anything we wanted to play anyways. Now we can go a little more greedy, because we don't need cards. We can just attack in a little more aggressively here. Because if they get more cards in hand, that's fine. We're not too worried about it. By the way, I have a cat in my lap, in case anybody's wondering what I'm doing down here. We're going to swing another 7 into face. Obviously not swinging board, because the cards can't go into rest anyway, so it's kind of just better for us to ignore the board at the moment. We get to restand a Dawn, and we're chilling. We got a 1 Dawn active. We finally got a 2K. We have a 1K. We got 9 cost Mihawks when we get there. That's not until next turn. But we have the ability to Trafalgar Law using this, returning this to our hand to then replay something from our hand, or we can replay the Perona, stopping 2 cards from going into rest, which is also a great option. They get another Boncaray Bentham. They're going to trash that. Ooh, and they're going to have the Miss Wednesday. That's pretty good. They can trash this Boncaray Bentham and hit another Daz Bones. They're going to be in a really good spot because they can make this minus 3K. We do have the Active Dawn, which we can then cheat out the Shigi, but then we can't double use the Perona, which is kind of the issue here. Looks like they don't. They're going to go with the Daz Bone, or the Mr. 1 Gym Blocker. Sorry to be throwing all these names. There's a lot of names in here. Not Mr. 1, but Mr. 2 Gym, sure. That guy. Mr. 5 Gym. There we go. Draw 2, trash 1, and then it's also a blocker. So they can just swing 5 into 4. Would I counter that? Probably not. Probably not worth countering to save it. If the Dead Man's Game worked for it, I would, but I don't really want to counter it. If they swing 5 into face, I will counter that. Oh, they're going to minus it by 3 anyways. They're making sure that guy dies. Like, yeah, there's no way you keep this guy on the board. Valid opinion. I ain't gonna lie to you. Valid as hell. We can swing 7 into our opponent. We can swing 8, actually. No, we have to swing 7 because we need... No, we don't need a card to return because we have the Perona. We're just going to double play the Perona here. So we'll swing 8 into our opponent, see what they decide to do. Then we're going to play the Trafalgar Law. We're going to bounce back the Perona. They go ahead and block. That was actually a really good play by our opponent to go ahead and cash in because we're going to bounce the Perona to play the Perona and freeze these two. We just couldn't do it in the other order. Now we're going to be able to restand 3 Dawn. And then we're going to be able to swing 7 into our opponent. The reason we're swinging 7 is because they don't have a 6K blocker, so it's still 2K, 1K, or they take. More than likely they take here. And it lets us hold 2 Dawn active for the Dead Man's Game or for the Perona ability. So we can pass, we restand a Dawn, and now we have 2 Dawn active for Perona when they swing into it with the Miss All Sunday. They get to start shutting down our attacks here, though. The Crocodile is going to be very good for our opponent. So now Perona can't attack, so they don't even attack the Perona. The Trafalgar Law can attack, which we probably will attack with the Trafalgar Law. I'm just going to let you know right now. But yeah, our opponent's in a pretty good spot. Our opponent is in a pretty good spot. They get to shut down both. What am I saying? You get to play it, then KO it, and then you get to shut down the other one. Okay. Never mind, guy. I lied. Alright. They made a 0 cost, and then they got to draw a card also, so they filter the hand a little bit. They're going to swing 5 at us. We will just counter that with a 1K. Simple and easy. 1K out of that. They're going to swing a big 8. That is going to be an issue. I don't exactly want to take this, but I also don't exactly want to counter it at the moment, so I think we are just going to take that. We can build up a large hand size. We're not in the greatest position, I'm not going to lie, but the issue is that the Mihawk stopping this from going into rest, it still does everything it wants to the next turn. So we're going to play this. We're going to rest it down. We're going to go ahead and stop that from... We're going to restand the 3 Dawn first. Then we're going to stop this from going into rest. And then I think we're just going to swing big. I think that's literally all we can do anyways, so... Do we ever just swing board to get a 2K out of hand? It's not the greatest moment. 9 into face. Can we take down the Crocodile? I don't understand how this Crocodile's not topped more events, because this deck is just so good, and I don't see it winning much. They're going to give us the 4K counter and a 1K. I don't know if that's exactly correct, just because of the strength of what we're doing. Like you just have no cards in hand now. So now I'm going to start just really, really prioritizing the board. I think that's going to be pretty good for us. So we'll have to see what our opponent decides to do to follow up on that idea, because they may just shut that down completely. I think the Trafalgar Law is going to be really good in this match if we can find more of them to bounce cards back to do the Bonnie thing. Another Crocodile. They stop our Draco Mihawk from attacking. That's not too good. We don't have ways to rest our own Mihawks. We can rest it through our leader effect, but it kind of shuts down the whole idea of everything we were trying to do. So not a great position to be in altogether. They get to draw another card, trash a card, draw a card. They're just filtering through the hand at that point. Not really ever losing cards in hand. Just totally insane. Now you get to shut down 2 attacks. We still have 2 attacks on the board, but they're still at 4 life. And so, like I said, we're going to try to hit the board. We can also freeze some things down, but we can't freeze as many things down. We can I think we can just 2k out of this attack with the Kikinojo, because we don't really need the Kikinojo. Then they could go 7, which we could 1 cost. No blocker, 1 cost, 3k. And then this attack we can also get out of. 1 cost. Oh, we can't get out of it. We'd have to 2k. I think we're just going to... Oh. We're going to take it. Jeez, that sucks. This is not the greatest position to be in. We can play this out. We can rest one of them. It doesn't really matter which one. It doesn't really do much for us. We restand 3 Dawn. We stop 1 Crocodile from attacking again. It doesn't change too much for us. We can't really attack into one or the other. We're going to go 8. We have to really go board here. Even if we go in 8 and miss all Sunday, that's just a 1k. This at least burns 2 cards out of hand. But again, we're just not in a great position. Croc is so good, bro. We have the blocker. They have the double Croc. Destroy the Croc. Minus us by 10. They get to destroy the one that can't go into rest. So they can go and shut this down. Discard a card. Draw a card. Basically just negates our effects. I don't know what we're doing incorrectly. This is a tough match. Why do other Mihawks make this match look so easy? They tap 1, they get to look at the top 3, they're looking for another Crocodile, so they're filtering the hand to find pieces, because they don't have more Crocodiles. If they find more Crocodiles, we're in a worse position, especially because they can only shut down 1 of them right now, because this one's a 0 cost. This hits 8 cost. So we can actually, if we had another Crocodile, or another Mihawk, we'd kind of start winning the war of shutting down 2 attacks, but we don't. That's the issue. We need to top deck just the correct card right now. If we top deck the correct card, we're chilling. We're in a way better position because we should be able to get out of these attacks here. They grab a Miss All Sunday. Ooh, wooey. So they're going to attack in with the Miss All Sunday. Then they're going to play out another Miss All Sunday. Replace that with a 4 cost here. Potentially something else. They are going to get value out of this to get 1 card out of our hand. We're going to just 1k this attack. I'd like to hold both options as much as possible. They're not going to play the Miss All Sunday, as we can see. They look like they're just trying to put us to 0 life here. We will 1k out of this as well with the Perona. I don't think we're going to need the Perona anymore. We can play a 5 cost here, but I don't think we're worried about a 5 cost. 10 into 10. That is incorrect because we haven't even used our ability yet. So we will just 2k out of this. And then we just have a blocker to save it the next turn. So they can't attack with this. No, yeah, they can't attack with this Crocodile. And now we just block since we took that last life. So we don't really completely lose the board. But now we need to completely win the board, and they have 2 potential 4k counters. 1 ground death, 2 3 ground death. So no, they don't have 2 2k counters. This is not a great position to be in. So we'll go 5 into 2. Let's tap 2, look at the top 5. We'll grab a blocker here. We're going to... Do we ever DMG their 2 Dawn active? I don't think so. I think we're better playing the Bonnie. Because we can rest the Mihawk. So we play Bonnie, freezing down Miss All Sunday. We leader effect, resting this, stopping Crocodile, or restanding 3 Dawn, stopping Crocodile. We can now attack, we're even going to attack this because we're at 1 life and we have no blockers, where we kind of need to attack this, right? So we'll go 6 into 2 to remove this off the board as well. We're basically just shutting down the entire board here. Now we're going to swing 10 at face, stop this from going into rest, and I think we're starting to take over the game now. We also have a way to restand Dawn. So now we're going to go... Might as well just swing 6. So swing a total of 11. That's going to be a counter event and a 2k, 1k. So they should just take this. So even though this can't attack, we're still in a good position. Man, I was stressing for a minute. We have 7k counter in hand. They had a Hatch Couture Patchwork, draw 2, trash 1. Makes sense to me, right? Draw 2, trash 1, yep. And then we pass a turn, restand a Dawn. The Bonnie was clutch right there. We have to be able to finish this game on the next turn, though. That's the issue. Because we are kind of far behind. They have 7 active Dawn. We know they have another Miss All Sunday in hand, which they're going to play right now, which is probably going to grab them a 4-cost blocker back. No, it's going to grab them the Bon Clay. No, they're going to grab the Babe. They do have the Babe in there. So they're going to grab the Babe and the Miss Valentine to search cards from the top of the deck. Then they'll be down to 4 cards in hand. When they trash this, they'll have to trash a card and draw a card. The blocker's pretty good. Can't go into rest. If we're going for lethal, I guess it doesn't matter. I guess we're going for lethal. We swing the Mihawk first, stop the Babe from completely going into rest, because we're going for game. Now, they could play a Searcher here, and we'll know exactly what's in their hand from that Searcher. We do have to get through with multiple attacks here. Play the Miss Wednesday. So they're going to minus something down and swing into it. Interesting. Well, they can't really minus down the Mihawk and kill it, because we have 4k counter. So they're going to trash a Crocodile. Nothing's at 0 cost. You had to make something 0 cost first, then do it. Okay, so they were going to minus the Mihawk, so we're going to play this out as if they actually did. So they were going to, minus down the Perona, So they would kill the Perona, because I had no way to save it. We would arrest the Dawn, and then cheat out the Zoro, just to have another attacker on the board and giving us a blocker. So it would just be the best option for us, since it does have that on KO. Now, they still have the ability to KO a card. They would have KO'd a card either way, so it doesn't change anything. You still had something. Yup. Lol. Now we have the Dead Man's Game. I think what we do is just Dead Man's Game, the blocker, and the Croc. It doesn't change too much. We restand 3 Dawn. We swing for... I think the 10 is fine, and we just shut down the Crocodile. We're still hiding behind a blocker, so we still technically don't lose. Even if we don't get the game this turn, we can easily pivot into board. Can't hit the Miss All Sunday, but we can kill the Babe, just giving them another card back into hand, which I don't think shuts us down. This would be 2k, 2k, 2k. So they have triple 2ks in hand. 2k, 2k, 2k. They did have triple 2ks in hand. So let's just see what 9 does to our opponent, because they have 3 cards in hand now. Now let's see what 10 does to our opponent. Shutting this down. Let's see what 11 does to our opponent and see if that gets us the game. If it doesn't, we're still not going to lose, per se, because we stopped 2 of their attacks. GG's. Good game. I really felt like we were behind until the very end. That was a really good game. Yeah, that was a really good game right there. I really thought we were losing, and then we got in a better position just thanks to the Mihawks. Good game right there. The Bonnie freezing down the Miss All Sunday basically just saved us the game. And then we kind of just had it in the end, because us stopping 2 of theirs, it just is about who finds more Mihawks and who finds more Crocodiles. We found the Mihawks, and they ran out of Crocodiles. These got us in a better position because we can rest one and attack with the other. They weren't able to stop both of them, so that put us in a better spot. If they were stopping both of them, like playing another Crocodile, shutting down one, KOing a card, shutting down the other, they would be in such a better position, but just because they didn't, we ended up getting it in the end. GG's, well played by the opponent. They played really well, and they knew who I was, so I appreciate you for watching the channel, especially if you're watching this video right now. Thank you. Shout out to you in the comments below. That's going to be your Dracule Mihawk video. I think you can see this deck is actually pretty freaking good. Took down some of the better meta threats. I was worried about that Crocodile match for real. That deck was going kind of crazy on it. We could have gone into some more OP14 leaders. If that's something you want to see, we can definitely play against more with this deck profile specifically. If you're having issues with certain matchups or anything, you can always message me in the Discord, which is linked down below. I appreciate you for watching. Like and subscribe. It's a free way to support your boy, as always. Leave whatever decks you want to see for the next video in the comments down below so I can make some more deck profiles, or if you got something cooking up, you can always leave that in the comments as well. I would appreciate it to get more original content, more video ideas. I want to cook up some like cool fun stuff that's like more unique. I'm running some card shows. I'm working on some really big things that I'm going to make for you guys to see my life of running card shows, setting up at card shows, vendor POVs, all that stuff. All the stuff that I do that gets me these kind of cool cards like pre-errata Luffy's and PSA 10s and pre-errata Nami's and PSA 10s and all this stuff right here. So appreciate you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.